it's been interesting to see how each of them are trying to make, get the messaging to stick. And to your point, Ashley, to define herself, as she's been a bit in the shadow as a vice president. And in fact, I have a daughter who's 25 who said, Mom, can you just tell me more about her? Because I don't really know very much. And there is kind
Absolutely.
of, I think, a certain amount of vacuum of understanding who she is as a leader. So, how is that playing out also in social media? If you could, and not to derail you too much there.
I think Ashley's absolutely right that she has not just the opportunity, but she needs to define herself. Because while she's been in public life for this long, there has been a lack of knowledge, I think, of her positions when she was in the Senate, the action she took as Attorney General. And then again, she has the benefit and the burden of 4 years or 3.5 years of the Biden-Harris administration. So she can claim credit for certain things, but she's also going to have, unlike other candidates that may have come forward, she's also going to have to defend the last 3.5 years of the Biden-Harris administration. So back to social media, Pam, though, just quickly, I think part of the sugar high that the campaign really embraced last week was the organic creation, some of it organic, some of it not, but the mostly organic creation of a lot of memes, tweets, TikTok videos, reels, whatever you want to call all the different social media aspects of this. She is a brand new figure on the scene. She is for a lot of these creators, she's a blank canvas, and she's got some very colorful things that she said in the past that they've used to their advantage. But again, I think there was this depression that took hold with the president running for re-election, and she's kind of unleashed that. So social media is going to have a factor here in the race. And again, I think once we get past this week, let's see how that continues. But it was interesting to watch it, and they took full advantage of it. I thought they did a very good job in taking advantage of what was being created on the outside.
Yeah, Pam, I mean, I think, the greatest, one of the greatest advantages that the campaign has right now is that people like your daughter and others on social media are doing the work of the campaign without the campaign having to pay for it. I mean, these are things you cannot quantify and put a dollar amount on, and they don't show up in the polls either. And the key is that what we're seeing is on social media, they're taking what used to be Kamala Harris's negatives, her laugh, some of her statements she's made, and they flipped them and turned them on their head and have now made them positive for her. And again, that's something, as having worked for, or maybe even 5, I don't want to date myself, presidential campaigns, you can't pay for that. You can't pay for that organic content and that momentum. I mean, Kamala Harris being brat, I mean, it's kind of chef's kiss. It's priceless. But here's the other thing, that the advantage that it creates is now you've got all of these different organic grassroots organizations that are popping up all over the place, that the campaign now is tapping into and giving them materials, talking points about who Kamala Harris is. How do you organize in your community? How do you talk about Donald Trump? What's the contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? So what they're doing is sort of expanding the work of the organizing of the campaign. I mean, it's multiplier effect for them. Not only are you dealing with the issue on social media, but that energy then translates into grassroots momentum. And that's what the campaign is starting to do right now. They're seeing all of these groups, as I mentioned, that call with 100,000 women on it last night. Those people were given materials on how to knock on doors for your neighbor, how to talk about Kamala Harris, how to push back on disinformation about her. And that's the kind of stuff that you cannot pay for. And that does not subtract from the $200 million. And it also suggests momentum. Here's the other thing that's not working to Trump's advantage is that people know Donald Trump. He gets, he goes to his rallies, and he's a one-trick pony, and he reminds you of who he is, and it really alienates that 1 to 2% of voters who we know are going to make the difference in the next election. So every time he goes to the podium, every time he goes on Fox News, he continues to remind people of who he is. Kamala Harris, on the other side, or the on the flip side, has the advantage of really the clean slate, as we all said. Now she can define herself, and she's got the benefit of only 99 days to do it. So I think she's got the upper hand, and it's going to be interesting to see how this thing works out.